Let's go to the next. Actually, here's a, go back just one more time. There you go. Look up on Google, like I was saying, NASA, the sun doesn't flip. You'll see there's solar cycle 23. There's the prediction of solar cycle 24. They already know what this cycle's going to do. You can tell by the last cycle. Dr. Hathaway, he's head of NASA over there, okay? These guys aren't dumb. They know the conveyor belt basically is very predictable. And if you look up 50% more intense solar cycle 24, you don't even have to be perfect. Just Google that. And okay? So what are we going to do when those wires won't give us any more power? Because every time the sun kicks out a solar flare, it comes 8 minutes or so, it flies through this 93 million miles of void space. And once it does that, it goes to the North and South Pole, and we call that the Aurora Borealis. Heard of that? It lights up the poles like lights. They call them the Northern or Southern Lights. Now, on strong ones, as in 1859 and 1931, you'll see that the system became, well, revealing all the way to even Hawaii. You'll be able to see this phenomena in the sky. Okay? It's called the Aurora Borealis. And that means that charged plasma comes down and it electrifies the atmosphere, and if it touches the center, remember in the Bible you'll read it says, I won't destroy you with water again, but the next time it's going to be fire. So forget the Bible, these ideas. We're just talking about a time clock. And if you actually can see it as a time clock, then you can actually see that the next polarity reversal is going to be very strong. And possibly we as a planet may be polarized. Remember, the sun is huge. Look at the size of that thing. That flame coming off there is, about probably 500,000 miles long. And it leaves the sun and it travels. So if another really good movie, we watched it the other day at the Hawaiian Sanctuary, I would all watch, called The Universe. It's free on Google. The Universe, The Secrets of the Sun. The information is out there if you're smart enough to be able to actually look in the right directions from being distracted from The Simpsons and I Love Lucy and Gomer Pyle and all the other things. So you can see, consciousness at this time is either going to live you in a good way, or it's going to actually say, leave the planet because you're not helping with the unveiling of the new system. So, let's see. So this is at the time right now. You got a choice. Are you ready? Take the red pill or the blue pill. There's no more treading water anymore. Take the red pill or take the blue pill. Okay? So if that's the case, like in the Matrix, Morpheus comes to you and says, hey, do you want to wake up? You're in a sleep you didn't even know you were in. And if you grab for the truth right now, remember, you can't go back. And if you could, why would you want to? Remember, it's the revealing. And if you knew that this was true right now, then how could I become more human? How could I actually elevate my consciousness to the occasion or the vibration of whatever the sun does? This is sort of like it's like grade school. You go in 3rd grade, you go to 4th grade and 5th grade, and this is where the earth is being stepped up. Do you know what an ECG is? Electroencephalogram. Okay? Do you know what the 666 means? And this is what has to do with the planet. What 666 means? I know it's evil, it's the devil, it's some weird blasphemistic something. 666. How about a breeding program? Breed, my children. Breed. Okay? And I'm not saying this, but this is all in ancient text. It's very simple. Now let's look at today scientifically. So, if you put an ECG up to your brain right now, we're all adults here, okay? So we're going to talk about something a little weird here for a second. Put an ECG, you can buy one on Craigslist for a few $100s. Put it onto the temples. And you're going to have an orgasm. Because remember, the brain will tell you where everything is. The brain only works on 0 to 40 cycles. That's it. It's got a broadband, just like the computer does. It's got a sort of like a amount of power that we are only allotted to have. 0 to 40 cycles per second. So if you had an orgasm and somebody else was watching the machine, you'd see that the machine on orgasm goes to 6.66 cycles. Wow. And if you know, let's break up the cycles of the mind. 0 to 4 cycles is called delta, and that's when you go to sleep. You ever heard of that before? 5 to 8 cycles is called theta. It's called reset. Okay? Reset. And 6.66 cycles after orgasm, I guess it's reset, isn't it? Okay? Now, you smoke a little cannabis. Okay? We're talking about weird stuff here, Dr. Bizarre. Smoke a little cannabis now. What happens to the 2 brains you have? Not one. You have 2 hemispheres. You have a left and right hemisphere. And by the way, you have 5 different parts of your brain. You have a reptilian. Everybody here has a reptilian brain. It's the first brain to form once you find this out. Second brain, mammalian brain. We're not human. We're reptilian, mammalian hybrids. Okay? Third brain, bird brain. Well, I think that would be pretty good to have a navigational brain because all birds can navigate without a map, can't they? Okay? Fourth, amphibian. Did you breathe in Mama's womb? Watch the movie The Abyss and you can see that it is true. You can learn how to breathe liquid again as long as someone shows you. Remember, show the mind what it doesn't know and it has a lot of problems. Okay? Was your brain erased when you came to the planet? Mine was. I know Rabbi Ann and I can talk about this. Zion. Did anybody know how to wipe their rear end in the right direction? No, Mama had to teach us everything. You had nothing in this mind. Nothing. 0. The 5th brain, reptilian, mammalian, bird, amphibian, and non-activated human. Remember, if you're 7% brain, you're a bloody genius, aren't you? 10% you can't even talk to people. Okay? So, human, remember, we want to become at this time because this constellation says we can become more human because we now can have more vibrations or cycles per second. Somebody's taking our governor off our little brains. And so this is why we have such a problem now. Don't we all want to not kill anything anymore? I used to say in the Bible, thou shalt not kill. The new system is thou shalt not kill anything. We are all one. You ever heard of that? Okay? So, it's a consciousness. The red pill or the blue pill. You'll have to make a choice at this time right now. Do you want to leave the planet because you don't want to step up your vibration? Don't worry, you'll get a new body and a new mind. But if you can keep your body through this change, then they'll call you maybe an ascended master. You hear about all these ascended masters. It's all fluffy stuff. Doesn't it make sense? Ascended master, if you can keep your body to the next shift of 13 cycles per second. Remember, we were at 6.66 cycles. That's just a breeding program. That's down here. 7 cycles is right here. 8 cycles is when you actually start to love yourself. 8 cycles is the toroid. Nassim talks about this. He's from Hawaii here. Lots of people talk about the toroid. Okay? Remember, you smoke a little cannabis, both brains become 11 cycles immediately. And so a lot of people smoke and go, whoa, no wonder that stuff's not legal because your brain is so desynchronized. Once it becomes synchronized, you're out of there. Okay? So, now, what would you think would be the most, because we talked about at the Hawaiian Sanctuary, there's some other people there that actually are sort of studying this new phenomena called telepathy. Wouldn't you want to become more human and be able to actually see, feel, hear, and touch the subtle body or the spiritual body, which of course is the ethereal body, which means that we don't have to talk like this because you know now. It's called gnosis. So once you get to the 33 cycle per second, look it up. Google Christ consciousness, 33 cycles. Blink. The ECG will tell you, once you reach 33.67 cycles, both brains become equanimity. Left and right side of the hemispheres become one, and you'll see Pharaoh, this Egyptian god, they call it. Not him or her, but it. Remember, it's got a whip on each side. And Pharaoh doesn't whip anybody. These are the keys to consciousness. Look at Pharaoh also sits on a box. Why would Pharaoh sit on a box? Is there symbolism to this? Sure, the Platonic solids. Everything fits in the cube, doesn't it? And if you can control the cube, you can control this little thing called consciousness, or at least its speed limit. Okay? So, 33 cycles per second. Once this body becomes 33 cycles, and this brain becomes 33 cycles, and this mind on this side becomes 33.33 cycles, you become human, don't you? This is this Lord Buddha, Lord Krishna, Lord Orion, and all these masters, which I just call humans. We're all demigods, wanting to become more human one day. Do you know that the symbolism of the earth, the geometry of the earth, let's go 33.33 longitudinal, 33333, bunch of threes. And let's go 33.333333. Not on the Greenwich meridian, because that's for morons. Okay, the Rosicrucians and a lot of the other secret societies, they use the Paris meridian. It's a little older. So let's use the Paris meridian. 33 longitudinal, 33 latitudinal. Where do you think it leads you? How about Jerusalem? What's so special about Jerusalem? How about an acupuncture point? And then you take 33.333 and go around the planet, and you'll find out that that's Roswell. Then you go the other way and you'll find out that's Sidonia.